A clear majority of registered voters now believe the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, is best equipped to address the main problems facing the country. That's according to the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. 51% of Jamaicans say they believe the Andrew Holness-led JLP is the best party to solve the problems of crime, unemployment and cost of living. That number has risen sharply in the last 3 months when only 37% of voters held that view. Ricardo Brooks has been tracking the data.
The Holness-led JLP has been touting what it says is a record of performance and achievement over its near-decade-long stint in government. The Prime Minister himself has asked voters to reflect on which of the two political parties are best suited to get the job done. It seems Jamaicans are now clear on an answer. When the Blue Dot pollsters asked 1,618 registered voters between May 2 and 17 which party they believed could successfully address the main problems facing Jamaica, the response was unequivocal. 51% of them said the JLP. That's a 14-point jump since February this year, when 37% placed their confidence in the JLP's ability. Notably, the JLP's strength on this question has risen by 23 points since February of 2023. That's when it recorded the lowest confidence level of 28%. The pollsters say the significant increase in confidence suggests voters are fast making up their minds and choosing between two governing visions. The People's National Party, PNP, has also seen an increase in public confidence in their ability to tackle the country's biggest problems. The party rose by 7 points over the last 3 months. The party moved from 25% then to 32% now. It's the highest level of public confidence seen in these polls regarding the PNP's ability to successfully govern. The PNP has increased by 12 points in voter confidence since 2023. But it's still dwarfed by the JLP's 19-point lead on the question of confidence. That's well outside the margin of error of 2.3%. 17% of respondents were undecided about which party was best suited to deal with the country's problems. But that figure has fallen from a high of 52% back in 2023. This may give credence to the observation of the pollsters that a strong majority of voters have indeed made up their minds ahead of this year's general election. In fact, the data suggests that for the first time in these polls, the confidence being expressed in both major political parties has surpassed 80%. If the JLP's General Secretary, Dr. Horace Chang, is right, and the record of achievement will indeed be decisive in the upcoming elections, the Prime Minister may well be dusting off his calendar and checking the available dates. In June, July, August, or September, only Holness knows. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, confidence in the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP ability to tackle the country's problems has risen across all age groups over the last 3 months. Voters aged 18 to 24 were most confident in the governing party, with 61% saying the JLP was best placed to address the country's problems. That's up 16 points since February. Mahiri Stewart has those findings.
The conventional wisdom says the JLP has strength among young people. These polls say that may well be true. The party holds a massive 37-point lead over the PNP, with voters between 18 and 24 years old. 61% of this cohort chose the JLP as best suited to govern. 24% chose the PNP. The governing party is also showing strength with voters 25 to 34 years old, where they lead the PNP 47% to 27%. The JLP has climbed 12 points in the last 3 months with this age group. The PNP draws even with the JLP among voters 35 to 44, where both parties are tied on 35% support. The JLP breaks out again with voters 45 to 54, moving ahead of the PNP by 24 points with this middle-aged demographic, registering 57% support when it comes to confidence, while the PNP nets 33%. The PNP manages to narrow the confidence gap with voters 55 to 64, but the JLP still leads by 12 points, 53% to the opposition's 41%. Most notably, voters over 65 are expressing significant levels of confidence in the JLP's governing ability, giving the party a near 30-point lead over the PNP, 56% to 27%. The pollsters say the JLP's strength across the generational spectrum may be driven by national developments. The pollsters were in the field amid news of the country's 40% decrease in murders, the public interest surrounding the opening of the Morant Bay Urban Centre, and the government's repeated touting of the unemployment rate. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.